provisions with the inside with national constitution. If the government can come forward and be honest to the people of this country and say the non-entrenched clauses will be on electoral revised process, these are the areas that we will go based on resources. I mean, you don't need for shame if money no day. Tell the people the reality. But then keeping the hope of the people and diming it to bring an excuse, that's dangerous. It's disastrous for even the cohesion and the confidence and peace process where we as a country we agree for getting national unity. But this is not the first time we design agreement then as a country we are better. You know, the pattern we will for look at when SLPP came in power 2018 and called the GTT report. Up to now, the organization be fine. Well, we know the status of their matters and then appeals and Supreme Court. No regard to that. And now you get this national unity in this second term. And then we are stuck at getting a clarity. We're getting confused as to whether in your data, percentage, as to where we are.
Okay. So for you, optimistic, say this process is complete at all?
Majority of them not able for complete based on processes and criteria.
Continue for stay with you inside the program. Chief Executive Campaign for Human Rights Development International, Chadi Abdul M. Fatoma. The program na Good Morning Saloni, they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today inside the program we look at the process and status of the recommendation of the tripartite recommendations, them how far and don't implement them. Inside the program, I want to welcome others to you guests. We are Minkailu Koroma, member APC publicity team. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salu.
Good morning, Radio Democracy. Thanks for having me. Delighted to be here.
Okay, continue for stay with you. They come to you shortly. We'll go for a break. We can continue the program. Good morning, Salu.
The program Good Morning Salon they continues still inside the studios. One for welcome back. I'm Minkailu Koroma. We're a member of the APC publicity wing as today we look at the tripartite committee and some of the issues with the around them, and we all know say the APC party get concern of implementation of this particular recommendation there. Good morning once more, Minkailu. Welcome to the Democracy.
Good morning. Thanks for welcoming me.
All right. The APC party gets concerned. Within some of them concerned there with the party get in the implementation of the recommendation there.
The APC party get concerns. The concerns not only limited to the implementation of the tripartite committee recommendations. We get boku concerns with the democracy of this country hinges upon, and then concerns and they will not address them accordingly and adequately for that matter. I mean, we know we'll get a very clean and transparent process going into the 2028 elections. So I you now be talking about the Constitutional Review Committee. Now, one of the things that they will discuss about, I know say the discussion here primarily now on the recommendations of the tripartite committee we are going to focus on. But not too long ago, we now know say APC been get press conference. In that press conference, we talk about the tripartite committee in work. We also talk about the census, where we forget, the decennial census, where we supposed to forget as a country after every 10 years. In 2025, now be forget them, but government be postponed for boku reasons, including concerns that will APC be raised, development partners and concerns, and a lot of other things make them postpone them. We also talk about the Constitutional Review Committee, government of Sierra Leone and the APC, because it was between the SLPP as a party we contest the election and the APC, because if you draw the government of Sierra Leone they now, although now the SLPP they govern, but you don't mix up the whole thing. I agree with Nandi. And so, but because now being between APC and SLPP, in the tripartite committee we been get seven representatives
from APC and SLPP.
From APC and SLPP. We develop the recommendations there. And now when we come to the composition of the committee, when at the steering committee, we only get 3 out of 20 representatives. And they don't even consider the APC as part of the structure. They only consider Mayor Yvonne Akisoya by virtue of imposition with Olas Mayor, Mayor Lamtel Namakeni by virtue of imposition, and Abdul Kabo, there's a leader of the opposition at parliament. They never consulted with the APC. They did not ask the APC to send in names to be part of the committee, and the committee not even. I agree, say, we forget civil society representatives and we forget the media. In fact, they will serve as moral guarantors. But you know, go give an abysmal number to the APC and expect to forget adequate participation. So they not do that, and I that force and start the rogue. And because of that, we raise a lot of concerns. Why that for be? Again,
would that make the recommendations there for the representation?
but I have just stated they never consulted the APC. It was not the APC. Now, governments, in a wisdom, decide for call the mayor of Freetown, the mayor of McKinney, and the leader of the opposition at parliament. They did not refer to the APC to make that decision. Lord know that clearly. Again, the other mistake we'll do, when a very serious mistake, the chair of this steering committee, now the chief minister. The chief minister engaged in a lot of political activities. Aside the engagement, he also got political ambition. And so if you put somebody with a political ambition for steer the ship of something way for be a national agenda way for bring we all together, you go cloud that also with your own thinking and ambition. And so because of that, he also strained the work of the tripartite committee. In fact, he don't get time. From what this year begin to now only 310 they don't meet. But I go count to Randy. So now this step then they all will for consider say we do mistake first. Yeah. The secretariat, even when they choose the coordinator for the secretariat, the tripartite committee recommendation also make it very clear as to how they go about for choose. The APC was never consulted, but even members of the steering committee, they were never consulted in selecting the coordinator of the secretariat and all the secretariat staff. Now, who side and say on social media? Now, social media, even Akisoya, the Honorable Abdul Kabo, and Mayor Lamte Sise, Ngolo Kata, now the head of the secretariat, the APC they did not sit in a committee meeting to agree to even propose names and debate on them. And we don't say this committee, the thinking of that anybody way for serve, you actually forget if you come in with a clean slate, you know, for be somebody where they don't suspect of belonging to a political party, having affiliation with a political. We all know who's now this country.
Right, so you think
now yeah, we don't born a man. I am coming to that. Yeah, there are a lot of points to be made. The fact of the matter is we know who's
right.
Even if I'm not been to play active politics, but because of my role where we don't play in a university, everybody knows say Minkailu na APC. If you put me for head a certain committee, then go know the angle where they come up from, then go know the agenda where they protect, and then go know. Now, I don't have to be outright, but possibly intelligent go understand what they try for say.
So
I don't have to be outright. Now, let me also speak to other issues. I'll come to that later, please. There are many issues to be discussed here. Again, we know say we also get donor partners then. Yeah? Donor partners the way they support the tripartite secretariat for do the work. One of them donor partners and they now idea. Somebody talk about them. Yeah. Then you get European Union where they support idea for support the tripartite committee. We all know say the tripartite committee they undertake a lot of activities right now. I hear the post where they represented they talk about waiting and go do na Falaba. And in fact, I listened to Golokata just on at Truth FM where I've been in the camp. It talks say if they want to go at district level, then go only consult the district leadership. But they not they consult APC members and at the steering committee. How abysmal that is. Me then a steering committee, you never consulted me, but they consult somebody in Falaba because when I want to go Falaba. They went to Falaba on the 15th of November this year and go begin talking about recommendation 78. Recommendation 78, they tell you about the system of government we for now practice. Be it proportional representation or the first past the post. The people of Falaba outrightly rejected a PR. Yeah, the old placards then at the meeting, they shall say no PR. I have the video with me here. Okay. The people that outrightly rejected, even though they did not consult the APC. So what we see is manipulations. Yeah, there are a lot of other things. Let me land. Please allow me to land on them. There are a lot of other things.
Because of
a lot of activities don't they happen. But let's come to the challenges. I mean, when I did forgive me time because I see when I give ample notification.
We can look at the challenges, Minkailu.
Yeah.
When Mr. Christopher Canada Studio, he make and clear say the figure way then the give na credible information because we understand say Dr. Kelfala Mara raised concern say most of the data the way then the give not proper. Wherein he say most of the thing the way they say they don't implement and no to. Now, Mr. Tese, then can give una the information, but it seems as if now una the no one go by the information where they give una.
First of all, law established now say this process is uncoordinated, disjointed, and lack of proper information.
Why? Why then what's then?
Even the one we say they don't implement up to 70 something, we mention, you see not to all don't complete some ongoing. It never pinpoint on the recommendations then specifically where they don't implement. Yeah, if you say we don't implement recommendation 1, recommendation 2, there are 84 recommendations. State clearly, say from number 1 to 20 we don't implement them. I want to tell you now categorically clear. Say in fact their recommendations are then we get timelines, and that the timelines don't even elapse, it don't expire. Most of their recommendations they are the timeline don't expire, and so because the timeline don't expire, now the Secretariat in responsibility for going at the drawing board with members of the steering committee for put new timelines them as to how they will go about back for achieve them. But most of the timelines don't expire. We also need for notice some of their recommendations, and they also get for do with law. You don't understand. You get for review the law for make sure say it fits the time and purpose for the implementation of that recommendation. Look, I think about recommendation 23 or so, they talk about the Electoral Commission. Now we not even get a substantive Electoral Commissioner. The post we did in they acted more alpha. Now acting Electoral Commissioner, Chief Electoral Commissioner. But the law very clear as to waiting at the process. It hinges upon the implementation of this recommendation for law will get an Electoral Commissioner. We need to look into that clearly. So if you tell me so now don't implement 70 and more of their recommendations, and you have to be clear. From recommendation 1 to almost recommendation 35, we don't implement them. You begin state them. But you cannot come and tell me things that are vague. They are not clear.
They can look at una concern about the staffing of the tripartite Secretariat of Steering Committee. You make mention of a meeting where the tripartite committee gets now Panama district, and according to more after this meeting, one of our member, we are the first member of parliament, Honorable Lahaimara, they arrest them. You can confirm or deny the allegation after that tripartite meeting?
Yeah, well, it is not to my knowledge. I have to be very factual. It is possible that he was arrested, but I have not read it. I not see it on social media. No, so I know it to my knowledge. Yeah.
Continue for stay with
So I know I make claims, so I know we will justify.
Continue for stay with me. Say the program Good Morning Salon. We go for a break. We can look at the tripartite committee, their work and how far they don't go with the recommendation. They just join me. Say the program will get Minkailu Koroma from the APC publicity wing, and also get Christopher Te, public sector experts, tripartite steering committee secretariat, and we get Abdul M. Fatoma from Chadi. We'll go for a break. We'll continue the program Good Morning Salon after that. Good morning, Salon. They continue. Inside the program, we come to Christopher Te, public sector experts, tripartite steering committee secretariat. They are for talk about the implementation process of the tripartite recommendation. Then we don't talk about so far waiting when I don't go the figure, and you begin to talk about the white paper and also the constitutional review, the process or the role of the play. We get what's them now. The constitutional review or the white paper, like the power sharing aspect, and also the 50+1 in the election. Whose role the tripartite secretariat get in implementing or in developing these documents?
Thank you very much. Basically, maybe I don't start with the mandate of the secretariat. We role now for oversee the implementation of the recommendations there. Not we per se they implement the recommendations. Waiting on at the white paper, waiting at the constitutional and legislative review documents them. Whatever words are being used there are legal, mean not to legal person, right? They are legal terms. And they up to the legal people then for let them use the kind of language they want for use. We role now for ensure that that particular recommendation, we say recommendation 50 something, for example, we say constitutional review for be done on this and all that. We want to ensure that the AG's office follow through and make sure that review is done.
As you say now they oversee the implementation of the recommendations, then una ever don't come across words like the power sharing or the 50+1 in the election process?
obviously, it didn't have the recommendation itself. It didn't have the recommendation, the power sharing, or the 50+1 when the
and the PR system or the first past the poll.
Well, with recommendation 78.9, actually they talk about the system of electoral system where we want in the country. I think if we go back a couple of months ago, now one of the things that I know we don't follow through, and I want to make a slight correction to what my brother say, that the Falaba, not to my knowledge, for that particular recommendation day. But I will come back to it.
They come to that. But now we look at what are the status of then recommendations here, so in terms of implementation, from your own standpoint, what do observe?
From your standpoint, the AG's office don't go to the point of bringing it open to various agencies them in terms of the conversations we don't go on a couple of weeks ago. I think the press, the academia, civil society, even parliament, all of those groups waiting AG and the office don't do, the team don't do, they don't do a presentation of that. And I think there's conversation going on around the process system. So the next step would be for take the process to a cabinet and then follow through as to waiting parliament go end up for present to the country according to the reviews there.
Okay. Now, still, the APC gets questioned. The question on data or on again in terms of implementation. As you hear from Minkailu, he said let the committee show the number of recommendations they will don't implement before we give a holistic data.
So the recommendations that they implement, they are as if to say na novel in the read chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. No, they happen that way. We take them in the way where each of them happen. So as at last presentation when we are doing the steering committee, we document proof say we've been done achieve the status of implemented recommendations to 38%, and I can give the 37%, sorry, and I can use some, if not all of the recommendations and what they talk about.
Go ahead,
we talk about 23, 24, 28, 34, 35, and so on. Then also, we get 47% will be ongoing. So that then two data then put together, will Chief Minister be calculate and put and say, this is a progressive implementation status, right? So for the ongoing, I can also tell you, say recommendation 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, and the like. There are series of them, okay? And we also talk about the one there where we not start it, we now be 15 and 22, we actually get for do with NCRA and roll in terms of transfer of data from NCRA to ECSL and so on, okay? So in terms of statistics, we are not plucking the figures out of the air. Whatever information comes to we from the implementers of those recommendations, as I say, with data analysts, they take them and put them into a matrix where they give we bar chart or pie chart, as the case may be, okay, for showing the level of implementation we don't have.
All right. As public sector expert of the tripartite steering committee, you convince say una go able implement all the recommendations before election?
To the best of my knowledge, the work we don't go on. Well, Mr. Fatoma, now a member of the steering committee. Me not responsible for talk directly to steering committee. What me responsible for when we don't do a job, we present that to the steering committee. Then we then at the committee now therefore see what don't happen. But back to your question, I think the level at which we dey, I get confidence for say majority, if not 100% of that work they go carry through as we speak before elections. They talk about referendum and the status of referendum and how it happen. Again, me not a lawyer, me not a legal process, but I feel say if we walk through the way the recommendations then they go and the steps that at which we go at, I'm sure those processes will be able to follow them through. As I speak to now, one of the things that really happen right now civic education, because now one thing down there is a whole bundle of misinformation, and unfortunately it will come up from we believe say we sabi.
Okay.
A whole bundle of misinformation.
Which one are the misinformation?
Misinformation about the fact that the recommendations have not been, the Secretariat not they push forward the implementation, or the figures that we didn't give not correct. even to a point, we get misinformation about the fact that tripartite is about regime change and all of that. So we are doing civic education for let we people them down there understand, say, it is beyond that. It is about the people and about our electioneering process where they lead with through to 2028, whatever it is, so that we not go repeat the mistakes that will happen from the term with the 1991 going up to 2023.
All right, continue for the way to inside the program. In name na Christopher Te, in a public sector expert, tripartite steering committee. As we will look at some of the recommendations them at the tripartite committee. Musa?
The program Good Morning Salon they continue. We come to Abdul M. Fatoma from Chadi. I earlier asked Christopher Te but terminologies or languages like power sharing 50+1 or the type electoral system we salon for practice in the next election. You as a member of the committee, what you want to discuss or talk about with regards then terms I was just mentioned?
I know attend a single meeting and we conversation come around power sharing. I know attend a single meeting, like the last meeting I not been there in attendance. But like I know that's a part of the tripartite recommendation, then get the type of electoral system. And when you look at the manner in which even the government, I mean, they present this thing, it very look haphazard, look constructive. If we talk about development, peace, it borders around with governance issue as a country. We don't play a lot of this divisive and dishonest approach towards how we go about election at this country.
So is it from government or on the two?
We as a country, we don't play a lot of dishonest behavior as to how we go into election. And when you look at the two major political parties, their interest in which political system, it's more within advantage them and disadvantage the other. So with that one day, we're not able to get a real constructive and honest platform for let we decide. Imagine 2023 we just switch. We switch into a system where a lot of young time voters not be ever get the experience or neither how the process they go about when it comes to proportional representation, because legally we get a system where they allow the president and the electoral commission for decide based on certain reasons for that we go switch. So either we try for find a one-way method where we know say where election come na proportional of what first past the poll. So government go get in own position and you get development partner go support civil society, then get their own position, you get the opposition, get their own position. Instead of we try to get a national, conversation towards the process. And with that one, they create a lot of doubt, in the process. So then the very reason why make October 2023, when we sign a national agreement as a country, say, one for rebuild the trust, one for build cohesion, one for, reconcile and settle the electoral dispute then. But all of the things that we pledge and promise for address in that national unity, the attitude and characteristic of political party, more the two major political parties, are really not good for the people of this country. We don't enjoy a lot as a country in the hands of politicians with the support of some citizens in this country, either from the media or the civil society, the religious body. So we need really to find a stronger pathway. We're open and transparent. And, the poor coordination thing between the Secretariat, the tripartite Secretariat, and we, the steering committee members, like me in particular, because I am for talk for myself, I not consult nobody, wiser there. Now, then get even a tour where then they go around, and that tour they for end the 28th. Now, from some other platform, get the paper, the agenda, the tripartite committee WhatsApp group, the Secretariat committee WhatsApp group. We cannot find that information. And if now we not the technical body where they advise and we wanna accountable to, then the platform we set up for the inform we through, for let all they share information in all day. I mean, for me, it just say it all that as a country we need to be serious and take the people of this country very serious. I mean, any effort for dishonest the people of this country with a mood or position for say we are doing it, we are doing our work, we will go ahead.
All right.
I mean, it's totally undone. If you not want follow with the participate part of it, there was no need. I mean, we were nominated, surprisingly. So this loyalty where we go big for one for day.
Okay. So it's Alex a communication gap there between
seriously
the Secretariat
serious.
and
I know they
the
even wait you done seriously.
steering committee.
Because this is serious. I mean, if at the head an institution, somebody wait for report to me, they go about planning your agenda, go about go do this. I mean, I query you for this. If you cannot give me a justifiable reason, I take the necessary administrative actions against
the allegation again are that government they do all this for benefits themselves. You subscribe to that?
And like I said, the two interests where you cannot say government, you can say the SLPP. Because the SLPP na political party, government no the contest election. Now political party then the contest election for control governance.
But the tripartite can between the APC and government.
Yes, now the government of Sierra Leone. You see, I said that earlier on, that the dishonest approach towards this process. Now for let them left out the other political party them, the small, they're not like for call them small, I can call them economic challenge political parties them, right? So they're economic challenge political parties and they're not a part of the process and just pick one party and sit down with the government of Sierra Leone. I mean, that was wrong. If they talk about national unity, they just pluck one among the others and sit with the government. Why not you lay a foundation for get everybody together, we participate, and let everybody share the experience, waiting and feel. You think, say, if APC say they rogue them, not only APC then go be rogue, each of them people then they will filing, each of them political party they will filing presidential candidate. Based on the either realistic or not, the picture they present to the public, they want for control the governance of this country. Thank you.
Earlier, we will talk about some of the issues that the APC gets with the implementation of the tripartite recommendations. At this moment, continue what they expect as a party.
Yeah, not to just what they expect as a party. I get a lot of issues that we are big for time for flag, so please permit me for do that. Now, I've been telling us just now, this process here, it disjointed, it uncoordinated, and it lack information. Now, a member of the steering committee don't corroborate the assertion I make. We tell when I say APC, not they just talk things that we're not correct. Now, things that we correct, I won't know about. But interestingly, again, we too now for know that all the activities that we don't take place, plus the engagements them, we get for do with changes of some of we law them. So laws the way for change. Their engagement and they always don't take place. It not come through the steering committee for let members and say and force before then they go into implementation. So the work of the committee is shrouded in secrecy. We need to know that clearly. Members of the steering committee wait for sit down, discuss and agree on most of the activities that way for take place in order to their knowledge. Again, because the chief minister also very busy and that they carry the committee along, it affect the work of the committee very seriously. Now that may could be need somebody we know to engage. We get a lot of Sierra Leoneans there. Where the SLPP for don't use their wisdom for select. Find Sierra Leonean. we get there, we get people then at the academic, we get professors, we get doctors, we not to engage. We're not political. We if we don't take say can't do this work for we. Therefore don't do it. Judiciously for that matter. So we need for know that day again. We for no say also the committee, all what they do, not day in line with most of the terms of reference where the tripartite committee initially been put. We then say we not only make recommendations, but they do terms of reference. Now then terms of reference here, they describe what una for do and how una for go about, and then they deviate from them completely and do things that we not call for at all. So what it will sense as a party now that all of them here are manipulations. Now manipulations for rig the next election. Where we not get for agree at all. We have been the camp just now. I hear Abdul Fatoma be the talk say one of the things that we both political parties for doing and for do a joint statement for condemn hate speech. Quite recently, the PPRC been sent called the APC and the SLPP, and then make an agreement to then sign to say both political parties for tone down. I agree with them completely. But I also want to let the public know say most of the hate speech the way they come, not to APC they provoke them. Now react to most of what the SLPP they say. And because of that agreement, we don't agree for tone down. We dey follow on to a logical conclusion. Now I make we not want to let the SLPP do anything whatsoever where they provoke aggression.
What are the immediate things then we want for making the tripartite steering committee address?
First of all, I don't tell you say the tripartite steering committee, most of the timelines don't expire. Yeah, it don't elapse. They need for go back now the drawing board. They need for go now the drawing board and make sure say they sit down forget new timelines. Secondly, we don't get a committee who don't put together for let them monitor the work of the tripartite committee. When Dr. Kelfala Mara the head, I be the list in Golokata, who have been the camp. They are listening. Me board away Sidoya. Talk say Dr. Kelfala Mara go to them at the Secretariat, then go get information, and Dr. Kelfala can talk say the information not credible. Yes, if the information wanna give Dr. Kelfala Mara, it not go through the steering committee. Members of the steering committee not aware about una activities, when they go about na the country, when they keep meetings and then meetings then they know they even last for 1 hour. When then go where people want to talk important things that they say, when I make it slow do fast in 5 minutes will they end this meeting. Even the agenda for the meeting they know they circulate them. Minutes for the meeting and no one they put minutes say the last meeting will be keep now the minutes this. They know they do all of that. So the APC want for see all that they happen. We want new timelines because the timelines are not expire. We want every member of the committee for be functional. We want them adequately they inform APC, law they sit down and discuss and agree on things the way they happen. Clearly, in anything in the APC they ask for.
Okay, Minkailu,
we need for know that day.
Is it true that they circulate minutes of the meetings and they get adequate time for members?
Unfortunately, we're not a member of the steering committee.
We
as secretariat. I mean, there's a difference. Okay, Mr. Fatoma go make an. We the oversee. In fact, the steering committee now then they oversee waiting what they do. Okay, we they follow through the recommendations then where each agency get for runs. Whatever we do, we report they go to the steering committee. Through the steering committee, the meetings then we then get.
So
for say they know they get the information. That's not on the secretariat for say secretariat know they doing job. I don't know outside the blockage they where then they say they know they get the information. But as far as I know, and to the best of my knowledge, information where they come out from the secretariat, they go now every steering committee, whether now 1 or 2 or. Now me do the last presentation from the steering committee on the status of implementation of the 80 recommendations.
For Mark 10 and Yingla, I say I agreed with CD. The schedule was released without the knowledge or approval of its chief negotiator under the agreement for national unity, Dr. Kelfara Mara, and without any formal notification to the APC National Secretariat. This is a breach of trust and a violation of collaborative split expected from the tripartite process.
This one from Super Caps 40. They say, for national unity and the good of this country, we are asking the government to be transparent in the implementation of the tripartite, especially on the issue of electoral reforms. We need free, fair, transparent, and credible elections so all parties in the process will be satisfied. From Super Caps from Nakisi.
This one from Kamaradin Alusai say, if we want democracy to flourish, we will have to fight for it. We will have to demonstrate it is a value again and again in improving the life of ordinary Sierra Leonean. Good job done, Payamba Minkailu.
This one from Tunde Scott now Facebook page. They say the APC is not asking for too much. All we want is a free, fair election, unlike the past election where certain districts were still processing results and the final announcement was made. That will no longer be the case.
This one say, Naya, the Sonko don't begin. I wonder what will go happen next year.
This one from Michael Indovel Lagao Monrovia Jr. say, even if angel come from heaven conduct elections in this country, the APC will never accept the outcome of that election. Vivid example, Mr. Minkailu said he did not agree with the studio guest from the tripartite secretariat, the civil society activist.
This one from Minkailu Habib Bango. I say, guys, let the justice to this country. This deserves more attention than what it is getting into.
We continue for look at more messages them inside the program. Good morning, Salon. This one they say from Lamati Kamati say Minkailu way of talking on the issue is not good for this country, but we at okay.
This one, the last one I go to because of time again. Say the press conference also concluded with a firm resolution from the APC leadership to continue advocating through all legitimate and peaceful means for the full implementation of the tripartite recommendation and the agreement of national unity.
The last one for me for now from Kamaradin Nalusani say, if we want democracy to flourish, we will have to fight for it. We will have to demonstrate its values again and again in improving the lives of ordinary Sierra Leonean. Good job done, Payamba Minkailu Koroma.
Alright, these are some of the messages we'll look over to you, Abdul Fatoma. What's the way forward on this and some of the messages that we can inside?
Well, I think the Secretariat need for work with the steering committee in a very open and transparent manner, because like I said earlier before we go for the break, a schedule they will then get based on the terms of reference. Now the steering committee now aim for approve whatever activity, and the last time we jointly approve activity now before 3 months, and we be need for go back, and this be raised in one of the other meetings that will include outsiders in that meeting. And during that meeting they get for nominate the United Nations for let them be part of the steering committee, so we'll get a mixed composition again, not only Sierra Leone. So the reason was that the United Nations they represent the entire international community into the process, where EU, US, and others will really appreciate such suggestions and nominations we will get for approval. And during that, I also request that let we meet back as a committee for approve budget and activities. But to the best of my knowledge, the last meeting with them hold, we may not been there around. I think I've been in Nigeria. Them be only approve. I mean, they may only do this presentation. Them, and then now you see the battle of figures. Who is right in giving the right figure? Who is wrong for giving? Or in a nutshell, complimenting efforts. Say, okay, now in this fit. But you and I know, if you tell me I get 78%, or let's say the failing numbers, don't be like the judiciary who celebrate fail, percentage. You get like 39, and then you say 51. Then 39 clearly show that say I fail, but 51 tell me say I pass. And then you say, let's just sum up. You cannot sum it up. I mean, data and science, and we say science not the lie. So if they mix up data, it's a whole challenge. And the government need for more open up in this process. We don't engage in mobilizing national information at this country. The PRSP, the Vision 2020, we do it informally and formally in this country. I mean, getting, few heads of civil society or government entity doesn't mean you are getting the people. We need to involve the people of this country, because when election come, it doesn't matter your class status of education or social or economic status. We consider you as a Sierra Leonean. We don't reach the age of 18 and beyond for participate in the process.
All right. Plenty thank you for joining inside the program this morning. Over to you, Mr. Te. A lot of concern them, but most you say you not deal at that level day. So what's in next for the Secretariat in terms of some of them concerned there where the APC always and Abdul Fatoma?
I will take Mr. Fatoma in point. Maybe we need to give consideration to the fact that maybe some correlation need for happen, and I will take that point and I will follow up on with my coordinator and see how we go move them, process them forward. APC them concerned, legitimate or not, feels okay for let person raise concerns, but it also okay for let the concerns them be dealt with in a manner where everybody go sit down on the table and talk. Not just from one end, they say, now this line they happen, now this we disagree with, and so on. When you disagree, people that know where they disagree with, I think it's essential for me to sit down and talk about that and see and chart a way forward. Right. As to how to address waiting at the gaps, waiting at the disagreements they about.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you very much. Maybe let's start with the point where why would they represent the Secretariat? Anthony, name? Anthony? Christopher. Yeah. The point that when you disagree, you get for Fenway for Sidon. Nothing no they will not don't do for Fenway for Sidon. Especially with the chair of the steering committee. Mark you around August 8th or 10th, the mayor of Freetown write letter to the chief minister and raise most of the concerns that will they raise so now. So if that opportunity be done, they follow Sidon with the chief minister or the steering committee and discuss and address then concerns, and they enough for the reach the media. I mean, for don't nipper on the board at that level. So not to like APC, not to explore other avenues. But I'll conclude. Now, when they talk about the timelines, even if we get new timelines there now, yeah, even if we get new timelines there now, we're not going to meet up for implement everything according to how for don't implement, and because some of them get for do with the law. Like we look at recommendation 21 where they tell you about the appointment of the ECSL boss. Right now the post will get now act the position vacant. So the best thing we will do as a country for achieve this, we for make sure we will do everything for fast track the implementation of their recommendations there, at least by the first quarter of 2026. If we're able to do it by the first quarter of 2026 and get it right, it go better for we as a nation. But if we not do it, it means that lip service will go the give to ourselves. Again, let me know say the other thing we I see the Ministry of Information being they propose, may bother be talk about misinformation where they go on. I think say now the Secretariat, now then they misinform the public and then they misrepresent within the recommendations and state. Something they really talk about 50+1 for change the percentage we forget we come into election. You know say the one when the existing law now you forget 55%. For able for meet the threshold for win an election. So now the recommendation say before we go into runoff and they waste boku money per runoff, law get 50+1. When our equity apply now the constituency based system, the first past the post now 50+1. If it may you contest election at constituency level, the one let down they be applicable also to the presidency. And so waiting the SLPP don't do, the last year I see information they circulate from the Ministry of Information. They talk about how they want to go about that. We know to that the recommendation speak to. Now it make them even the proposal redistricting, where they want to get more districts. Now they say even if you get 50+1, you will also get at least 25%. Now every districts or half of the districts there. How many districts that we get right now in Sierra Leone? 16 districts. So 16 districts technically the SLPP cannot account for half of them district and day if elections are conducted. So they want to now technically add a certain Panguma and a Bandajuma. This is more the reason why then they push for redistricting, so that if they get 2 more districts, maybe they can manipulate for get votes, then they wouldn't go say they get 25%, now half of the district there. If you add 2 more districts to 16, waiting a half of 18, you don't go 18, half of 18 is 9. Then now maybe they go account for 6 or 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So now the mathematics then they wait and they work now for one for rig the next process, we will not go accept at all.
All this allegation.
Yeah, now allegation, you see the thing and they unfold, you call it allegation.
No,
have you not seen? You not don't see the proposal for our 2 new districts, a certain Panguma and Badajuma.
Yeah.
Yeah, the proposal is there. You don't call them allegations.
The tripartite recommendation is in the way come on. If they don't address them, what will be the position of the APC?
Now the SLP, the current tripartite implementing body, I'm not going to call the steering committee day, because then they know they even consider them. The one that would implement the tripartite recommendation, they do disservice to this country. They know they do waiting the tripartite recommendation say. In fact, they talk about misinformation and then they misinform the public and they misrepresent waiting the tripartite recommendation say. We need to know that clearly. And so now we as a party don't put a foot down. We dey make sure say we come back now the drawing board and do waiting we ask. One thing for no force. This tripartite will be trivialized, so now a trade-off. When the election been done today, they will say SLPP not win. I not just want to go back to lengthy explanation. But we'll say they not win. Yeah, we'll not get time, but we'll say they not win. What we'll do, we'll say we'll not participate in governance. So for no agree for participate in governance, now the tripartite recommendation. When they talk about not counting, I agree with brother when they say this not a book like when they read chapters, chapter 1, 2, and 3. I also want to tell and say if you get number, figures 84, any one way you implement it for tick and say I don't implement this. So if you implement 50, you go say that 50 I implement. So we are not talking about books and chapters here. We talk about things that are very realistic. So I don't get 8 resolutions. Then 8 resolutions and you go see SLPP can say president for address the nation, they don't address her, APC for go back to parliament and this, you don't go there back, we don't release prisoners there, we don't pay backlog. If they count the number of recommendations there, we don't implement. So by now, we'll cancel the tripartite recommendation, they say otherwise. But as you say, they owed me because of time. For end, me, the one that will send messages and all out, Abdul Fatoma, are satisfied with in presentation, not because he said the truth, but not because he don't keep his heads above water. Even when APC been there, now so back he take position. When he criticize you go say na SLPP. When SLPP they now when take position, people that we not go glad you time. But I think say na that role they civil society then for the play going forward. And for the things that I say I disagree with them, we say other political parties then for don't involved in the tripartite resolutions. No, the contest was between APC and SLPP. You understand?
I will weigh in to also defend that.
Two issues the SLPP for address immediately. 2 issues the SLPP for address immediately. Now we don't fail woefully. We don't fail woefully in the MCC scorecard. The MCC scorecard we don't fail woefully. Then again, SLPP don't lost. SLPP government don't lost the case to the lawyer that will be represent London Mining. We lost case to London Mining. We don't lost case to the lawyer that. And the money they spend is about how much they pay is about 11 million. United States dollar. We for don't pay nurses, teachers, and other essential staff. We are need for control and talk about that. Thank you.
Yeah, quick one, Christopher Tay.
No, I just want to make a point clear where it is saying that we're responsible for misinformation. That's not correct. If anything, we do we best for ensure that the information that is there on the recommendations really for let people to understand that. Okay, fair enough. If the steering committee then say they don't get rescheduled, why were they out? This is basically one of the reasons the way.
But one of the members then they are.
Yes, I know. Abdul Fatoma said. Sorry. Okay.
Even the WhatsApp group.
I take that back. Okay. Yeah. Abdul Fatoma said he not get. But one of the reasons the way we make we day out now for make we curb out waiting at these misinformations there. Maybe they when we go around before this process. We met everybody with the stakeholder from McKinney to Falaba.
Okay.
before we do the
without the
process.
knowledge of the
Right?
steering committee members who are there to represent the APC, and then you
So I
can't
think
tell that we are, that is misinformation and misrepresentation.
Alright.
Yes. It is misinformation and
some of
misrepresentation.
the-
You dey talk about you dey talk about without the
Plenty
knowledge of the
take we join
steering
in.
committee.
In
Yes,
a
yes.
Christopher said,
The
in a
decision
public
has to
sector
come from the
expert
steering
and
committee. It
tripartite
has to come from the steering
committee. As
committee.
we media will look at some of the issues we get for do with the recommendation them we the inside the tripartite committee. Same also we get Minkailu Koroma, member of the APC publicity wing, and same also we get Abdul Fatoma, we are chief executive for Campaign for Human Rights and Development International. Plenty thank you guys who wanna join me inside the program this morning.
When I had this edition of the program, Good Morning Salon, for today, plenty thank you to the producer Michael Sambola and Manjula Sari production. Then thank you to DJ Kim and for technical support, Japan Man Studios, Kamal Bambra, Takwata Samura, who make us like Facebook. So today, Mr. Kamal, see how you know. Bye bye.
My name is Usman Kamara. Bye bye.